Hello and welcome back to another episode of Weekly Football Roundup with the Fulltime Ultras. Today on the panel we have Riku, we have Appu or Aditya, and Kini joining us.
Or Aditya.
Aditya part 2.
Mini Aditya.
Alright,
Oh,
so this show is going to be different from our other ones. This one has no specific topic that we're talking about, it's just our weekly football roundup. All the
we're
transfer
just bored.
rumors, all the news, all the headlines that have been football related over the last week. That's what we'll be discussing here today and diving deeper into those headlines. So, first of all, we have to start with the Indian head coach saga that has been going on. I mean, what a joke, what a mockery of football in our country. I mean, first there were reports of Xavi applying for the job and then getting rejected by the AIFF. And now there's reports that nobody even applied from Javi's team. It was some 14-year-old with a fake email ID to who applied for the job. So, what are your
Probably
thoughts
it
on
was
it?
Kini. Probably it was
Exactly.
Kini.
Let's start with
My,
Kini. Kini, was that you?
my money is on Kini.
Um, it was not me. It was probably Beaver or it was probably Reek. Those
Possible.
14-year-old Barca fans.
But yeah,
Possible.
what are your thoughts on the whole saga, Appu? Let's start with you.
I mean, it's like as the days go by, Indian football is just becoming more and more of a joke. This is like when I first saw the report, I was like, oh, that must be fake. And then when Fabrizio Romano posted it, I was like, hang on, this is real. But then it's like later we find out like he's deleted the post now, and we find out that it's all fake, and it just shows how much of a shambolic situation Indian football is in right now with the whole ISL situation as well. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's just
I mean, every
tragic.
week some news comes about the Indian football team, and then you think that this cannot be topped, and then somehow they find a way to outdo themselves. I mean,
Yeah.
when I first initially, I think it was a couple of weeks ago when I saw on their Instagram that they had posted a link to a Google Forms saying apply for the head coach position here. I'm like, this is headed for disaster, and exactly that's exactly what has happened. I mean, who which national team posts on their social media channels that please apply for our head coach position in the link below? भाई तुम
At least
influencer
at least LinkedIn पे तो डाल देते. मतलब Instagram पे they posted. I mean,
Instagram पे, and
what a
that
joke.
also a Google Forms that anyone can access. And like, if I am a top level manager, forget top level. If I am, अगर मैं अपने club को भी coach कर रहा हूँ and I want to apply for the national team job, I'm not waiting on Instagram ki have they posted a link to the job? Can I apply through the
I,
link? I'm like,
I'm curious what was the job description of this role. I mean, I don't know.
there was no
Say
job description. There was just apply for the head coach position in the link below. You click on the link. It's a Google Forms where you enter your details, your experience level, and what are the last teams that you have coached. That is what you
sounds
enter
like
and
a
submit the form.
Sounds like that one of those financial scams that your parents would fall for. Like click on the link and win 5,000 rupees. It sounded like that, but like
I mean,
I
no
mean
wonder
what
that people were pranking them and sending applications posing to be Xavi Hernandez and Pep Guardiola. And somehow, okay, that is step one. That is where the mistake was made. That happened. Someone from the AIFF came and gave a statement to the media saying that Xavi Hernandez had applied, but we don't have the money, so we rejected him. I'm like, you didn't even verify कि actual में Xavi ने apply किया था नहीं किया था. No talks, nothing. You just saw an
but
email ID saying Xavi Hernandez at the rate supermill.com. And you just decided कि
I
हाँ भाई Xavi ने apply कर दिया है.
I think the biggest credibility hit has been taken probably by Fabrizio Romano. I think I'm not going to depend on any of his posts for this week. जितना भी इसाक कर लो वो जब आएगा तब देखा जाएगा.
वैसे भी नहीं करना चाहिए Fabrizio पे depend. He
हाँ भाई.
posts the same news 200 times in the same week. Talks
And
are
Lamine
going
He only
on.
Yamal.
posts for Lamine Yamal. He only
Negotiations are
posts for Lamine
underway.
Yamal.
Here we go soon. Loading. He will just post the same thing 200 times in the same week. तो वैसे भी नहीं करना चाहिए.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on to the next topic because the AIFF is not worth talking about at this stage. It's not.
What a joke.
Yeah.
So next on the list, of course, as you mentioned, Isak, we have to talk about him. That is the biggest transfer saga going on. Liverpool fans already dancing and celebrating, but I think there is a lot of moving parts here before that is completed. So, but let's talk about Isak, Liverpool fan. What is your thought? What are your thoughts? पैसे कहाँ से आ रहे हैं?
I am very clear that FSG took the Coutinho money, invested in crypto, and we are cashing in on that today, and we're just enjoying. But I feel it's very uh, you know um I think we shouldn't question Liverpool's financial backing because we didn't spend anything in the last 5 years. In the last
The
10 years,
only
I
one
would say.
questioning Liverpool's financial spending this season are 12-year-old
Liverpool
City
fans.
fans.
No,
12-year-old
it's City
City fans.
fans.
City fans.
I mean,
And
today I saw
Arjun,
a
the
post.
hashtag Arjun. Yeah.
Today I
hypocrisy,
saw a
I mean.
post. Yeah. Today I saw a post in which someone was calling for like a 5-year ban minimum on what grounds and what, like, first of all, a City fans talking 115 charges and all that, and you're accusing another team of, like, overspending, financial fair play breach and stuff like that.
I feel that this is like really good business because uh, we've already spent like 150 million or probably 250 million. I would say closer to 250 million now with add-ons maybe 300 million. And today, as we speak, I just checked my Instagram feed and Nunez and Diaz have been kept out of the Milan preseason squad. They're out of the squad only because Slot does not want them to get injured before they move out. So it is very clear that those two are moving out. I'm clear that Javi Elliott is moving out. So there's got to be the net money that is going out is probably around 200 million, and then we should have another 150 million for Isaac. So this is like great business for me. I think I think the transfers that he's done, Word, Sekiteke, with guys like Gyokeres coming in, there is you're bolstering whatever areas where you were already strong, Frimpong. Because I see no harm in Connor Bradley playing right back for the entire season because he's already been groomed, and I think that was one of those jumps that Klopp had taken with Trent because he removed Klein from the setup and then he got in Trent, but and he stuck with Trent. But this time, I think Slot is doing something different. I like credits to him for having the balls to do that. But yeah, I think it's a different Liverpool setup this season, and I'm super excited. Super excited.
but we are talking about Isak. No, nobody asked about Liverpool setup. Nobody cares about Liverpool setup. ठीक है, पैसा है उड़ा दिया. But what about Isak? Do you think that it is
सुनना भाई
realistic?
डेलाप पे फोकस करना तू
But do you
डेलाप.
think it is realistic that you will go and actually put a bid in for Alexander Isak?
Yeah. I think half an hour back, Fabrizio posted that Isak has said no to all the Saudi clubs,
I
and he's.
think we've established in this show that Fabrizio is not exactly the most reliable.
I only said it, but it's okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, the point is कि Isak is definitely
But
in the mix. Is going to be in the mix, and we
except
are placing
Saudi
a.
and Liverpool, what are the realistic options for him? If he's forcing a move away from Newcastle, I don't see any other realistic options. I don't think
But
Chelsea
PSG is the one team that probably could go for him.
Maybe PSG, maybe.
but yeah,
Uh,
PSG. But I mean, come on, their front three is pretty much
Their
set.
front line's a bit loaded, but I think, like, they don't have a striker, an out and out striker, which
Yeah,
Isaac is.
and I think
So they could
they
go
want
for
to
him.
get rid of Goncalo Ramos as well.
Exactly. So, and they have the money to do it as well. That's one of
but
the
I think
main
Isak
factors.
has made it very clear earlier as well that his priority is only Liverpool. So I think he's going to stick to it.
नहीं, that was all rumors. Nobody has said only Liverpool. ठीक है, ज़्यादा
मैंने कंफर्म किया था,
हाँ तो ना, हाँ
मैं कॉल किया था उसको, मैंने बात किया उससे.
जॉर्डी एक्सेंट करके बता एक जरा, फिर समझूंगा.
Coles नहीं.
नहीं रहने दे भाई. But yeah, I don't think any of the La Liga clubs can afford him. All are broke.
No,
Madrid is broke.
absolutely.
Barca is broke. Atletico तो छोड़ ही दो. And then Saudi can afford him. PSG can afford him, and probably Liverpool. I
Or
mean,
probably 80k Mohan Bagan.
who else needs a striker? I can only think of United who need a striker, but
Let's not. Let's not.
150 million. Right. So it looks most likely like if Isak gets his move, he's going to Liverpool. And
Yeah.
that begs the next question, Apo. Do you think anybody can compete with Liverpool after they get Alexander Isak?
I think teams can compete for sure because they obviously set an insanely high
What
standard
one
last
club
season.
World Cup does to a person.
I didn't say us though. I did not say us. City have actually spent a fair bit this window as well. Arsenal obviously pushed them all the way and then finished second. So there's that. But City are probably the ones to look out for, I feel, because Pep's. It
हमने
seems like
लास्ट
Pep
ईयर भी यही
is.
बोला था. Raghov said Liverpool will finish ninth. ठीक है, let's not go
Let's
ahead.
not go into Raghav's predictions, please. No, but City spent well. Pep seems to be going in a slightly different direction this time. He's signing more direct players, like on
Yeah,
the
who can
wings,
get
the wing
eliminated
backs.
by Al Hilal?
I
Surely
mean,
that's
there is
going to
that.
plan.
Yeah, that's definitely going to plan. But I think teams can compete. I don't think Liverpool will run away with the league, but they're definitely favorites because having won the league, they've strengthened even more. So,
I'm saying we are running away with the league, with the cup. Or the only place where we're going to compete hard is going to be Champions League, because league and cup are done.
I
okay, I'll
mean,
pose this to you:
now
like
that Chelsea is
quadruple, yes or
competing
no?
in the Champions League, all the other teams are scared. I can see that.
Sure, sure.
Rico, quadruple, yes or no?
क्वाड्रुपल क्वाड्रुपल नहीं, ट्रेबल तो होना चाहिए. दिस इज अ ट्रेबल विनिंग टीम फॉर श्योर.
डोमेस्टिक
What
ट्रेवल को
treble?
ट्रेवल नहीं
Yeah,
काउंट करते, ठीक है.
which treble?
क्या क्या विच ट्रेबल?
Yeah, the
लीग.
domestic treble or the European?
नो, लीग, एफए कप, चैंपियंस लीग.
Ah, we shall see. Your
Proceeds to get
predictions are.
eliminated by Plymouth Argyle.
मैं बोलने वाला था भाई, वो तो मैंने
Your-
लास्ट ईयर भी सोचा था भाई. मतलब एफए कप जीतने वाला है ये साल, आंख बंद करके देन वी गेट रेलीगेटेड बाय, एलिमिनेटेड बाय प्लाईमाउथ. लाइक क्या क्या स्कैम क्लब है भाई. आई डोंट गेट इट.
But moving on now, talking about Premier League, the challenges to Liverpool last season and to Man City the 2 seasons before that, the Bridesmaids FC, uh, Arsenal, they have finally, after 3 seasons, got themselves a proper out and out striker. Victor Gyokeres signing for Arsenal this week. And what do you make of that, Kinney? I mean, they were looking for a striker for a long time, and they have gone and got Victor Gyokeres, who scored about 100 goals last season. I mean, that's an exaggeration, but I mean, we have to keep in mind that it was in the Portuguese league, but still, I mean, the guy's got goals
स्टिल
in him.
लेसर देन एम्बापे.
The, the guy's got goals in him, and is that the final piece in the puzzle that Mikel Arteta has been looking for? What do you make of it?
Uh, I still think they're going to win the league, even without Gyokeres. They're still going to finish second in the league, even with Gyokeres.
Uh-huh.
He's an incredible signing. They might probably win the Carabao Cup again, which they win every 4 years. The only trophy they win in like the last 15 years. But winning the Premier League for them would be pretty difficult with the signings Liverpool have had
Riku, what are your
this
thoughts
summer
on
transfer.
Gyokeres to Arsenal?
I feel they should give up and already. And I think the only time they're going to win the league is before the league starts, because they are on top of the table at
No,
that.
they're
No,
still.
no.
I think
AFC
they're still
Bournemouth is
second.
still first on the
AFC
table.
Bournemouth is first. Arsenal is still second.
Arsenal
It's
is
so
still second,
sad.
okay.
It's so sad. I mean, this club, I think it was probably my second favorite club, but always. But then,
You, second favorite. Who has second favorites? I mean, that is probably one of the most wokest thing I've
my
heard.
my Sean has like five favorite clubs, right? That's why I don't trust his loyalty at all. I think his girlfriend ecosystem also should hear this out, so that, yeah, please question his loyalty, guys. I don't think so. He's the
But
right man.
okay, coming back to Gyökeres, Apu, I mean, we have seen him score goals for fun in the Portuguese league, but watching clips of him at Sporting, do you think he can show up to the Premier League and perform the same magic, or even play at the level at which the Premier League operates? because that is going to be a challenge to adjust to the pace and intensity of the Premier League coming from Sporting. I mean, one thing that I read, I mean, obviously it was from a Manu fan, but it kind of made sense. I mean, Ruben Amorim, his main man was Victor Gyokeres, right, at Sporting. He knew what Gyokeres is, and then United were probably interested in him earlier in the window, but that interest faded away very soon. And when you see that they've spent pretty much the same amount of money on Brian Mbuemo, it's not a lack of funds for which they didn't go for Victor Gyokeres, right? When they needed a striker. So if Amorim, who knew him at Sporting, didn't think he was up to the Premier League level to play for Manchester United as a striker, do you think he has got it to perform at the same level for Arsenal?
Or is it another United manager making a foolish decision?
I
Like,
mean, we'll go into the Mbuemo negotiations in a bit, I'm sure. But I think Gyökeres obviously will struggle initially. He has the attributes to a bit like at least flourish a little bit, say towards this in the second half of the season, maybe once he gets used to it. As you said, the physicality and the pace week in, week out, facing like that level of physicality is quite the challenge, especially for someone coming in from a foreign league. But he does have the attributes to do it, and he's shown the intensity in his game, at least in the Portuguese league, to be capable of scoring like at least like 15, 20 goals, I feel. That said, we have another former Portuguese league top scorer in Liverpool right now, who very clearly hasn't adapted one bit to the Premier League. So you never know. You can never say at this point.
That's true. I mean, from the clips that I have watched of Gyokeres, I mean, his finishing is top notch. He is a proper striker who can make those runs, get to the end of the ball. But his hold up play, his link up play is terrible from what few clips that I have watched of him at Sporting. So that would be an interesting thing to keep an eye out on, because Premier League is, you can't just stay in the box and expect the ball to fly in towards you, because you have defenders like Dan Burn at 6'5" who would just
Yeah.
outmuscle you and put you to the ground even though you are someone of Victor Gyokeres's build. So that would be an interesting thing to see how he adapts and if he is actually able to solve Mikel Arteta's striker problem, or does Guy Havertz gets that spot back pretty soon, which I think is very much possible.
It's
But
possible, yeah. He's
moving
burned
on,
up actually.
yeah, moving on now. We were talking about Manchester United. Let's begin Manchester United segment by taking a half a minute break to just laugh.
मैं तो साइलेंस बोलने वाला था भाई, बट ठीक है मतलब.
भाई हंसी आती है, सिर्फ हंसी आती है उनको देख के. I mean, let's talk about that Mbuemo negotiation. So they started about a month back. They went to Brentford. They said हमें चाहिए Mbuemo. ठीक है. Now I'll break it into simpler terms for you. I imagine you guys are Michael Scott. So
Sure.
let
Explain me like I'm a 8-year-old kid.
तो तुम गए सब्जी लेने. तूने बोला भैया
Yes.
ये कांदा कितने का है. भैया कहते हैं 20 रुपए किलो. अरे भैया मेरे पास 5 रुपए हैं. दोगे. कहते 5 रुपए में पाव किलो दूंगा. तो 20 रुपए दे अगर तेरे को चाहिए 1 किलो कांदा. अरे भैया मैं मम्मी से बात करके आया. दे टुक अनदर वीक, केम बैक सेइंग मेरे पास 7.5 रुपए हैं. मैं कहता कांदा अभी भी 20 का ही है. कहते मैं मम्मी से बात करके आया. तो एक हफ्ता और लगा. एक हफ्ता बाद आया, भैया मैंने पैसे जुगाड़ कर लिए, मेरे पास अभी 10 रुपए है. भैया वही फिर से कांदा अभी भी 20 का ही है.
भाई कांदा सड़ नहीं रहा है भाई.
एक महीने बाद आया कि भैया अब तो बस हो ही गया. देखो ना मेरा ना तेरा, 20 रुपए लेके आया हूँ मैं फिर भी. दे दो 1 किलो कांदा.
पॉइंट इज 1 महीना हम कांदा के बिना रहे गाइस. हम सब जैन है 1 महीना.
They got Mbuemo for the initial price that Brentford had quoted. After a month of negotiations, back and forth, like at the end, they have finally ended with Brian Mbuemo for 65 million. And
अभी तो तू 20 रुपए बोला भाई.
have a कांदा करी था ना 20 में.
Sorry भाई.
So they've got Brian Mbuemo. What do you make of that, Appu? Like, do you think that's gonna work? Is that the solution to United's problems?
I mean, very obviously not. They need a striker. Hoyland has not worked at all for them so far, and they need someone who can lead that line and give them the goals that they need. Like it was a situation much like Arsenal's, where Arsenal needed someone to like finish off attacks. Even more so for United, because Arsenal at least finish second, United not even in the top half.
No,
But
I mean, just imagine you have a squad that finished 15th. You have a new manager who's finally got a pre-season to work with the team, to strengthen the team, to get them mold them into his system, right?
yeah,
And
exactly.
pretty clearly, you could tell by the results last season that this is not the squad that Amorim wants, or this is not the squad that works under his system. You spent almost 1.5 months to get him two number 10s. That's it. No defender, no wing backs that actually work in his 3-5-3 system. Nothing. You don't have a proper striker. You have a 9.5 in Xerxes and Hoyland, who hasn't scored in probably a million years.
And
And at
Maguire.
the end, you just got him two number 10s. You've got Cunha and Mbuemo. I mean, that has
It's
got to be the most funniest recruitment drive that I've seen. And finally,
Well,
now with the Premier League like 2 weeks away, they're starting to realize, oh shit, we're gonna face Arsenal without a striker. So they got out the list. They're like, okay, पहले कौन है? Gyokeres नहीं गया, पैसे नहीं है. Next, Ekitike Liverpool ले गया. Delap Chelsea ले गया. And now they have finally reached option F or option G, which is Ollie Watkins. And they are starting negotiations for Ollie Watkins, a 30-year-old striker from Aston Villa. That is going to be the face of the rebuild. Ollie Watkins. I mean, how do you not laugh at this club?
but if I may ask you guys, okay, if you had like 3 players on the market, maybe I'll start with you, Kini. That if you had two or three players in the market that United should definitely buy, like players who want to move out and will probably help the system, because I personally I want United to at least here compete. Yeah, it's not a club that can finish 16th in the league. Yeah, it's just okay. Google हंस भाई. But the point is, भाई कुछ तो करे भाई. मतलब so guys, tell me two players from the market that you think if they had the money they should buy.
I
I
think
don't
the
know.
obvious one's Isaac. Like I mean,
I
the
think
very obvious one is Isaac.
I think it's too late.
yes,
I mean,
obviously.
if they had the money, they realistically बात करें Isak, तो it's not
Yeah,
possible. 150
नहीं
million.
तो हाँ
exactly.
मतलब
वो
realistically
जाए
बोल.
वो
हाँ
जाएगा ही नहीं.
I mean, if they have the money, it's not realistic. No, that's the point. Like
Yeah.
they don't have the money. They're struggling to sell players.
भाई
Like they're
मैं तो
sending.
डार्विन न्यूनेस देने को रेडी हूँ भाई. ले
The
लो.
thing is, they're sending Rashford out on loan. They need to offload him. They can't offload him. Sancho's still on their books. Garnacho's still on their books. They're looking at Jackson, by the way. That's another interesting.
But again, that is one that they cannot afford. Because Chelsea
Exactly,
have put
because
a 100 million price tag on him. And
it's
they
it,
don't have the
which is
money to spend 100
exactly
million on Nicholas Jackson. So I'm like, there is no realistic option. It is probably a
there is
bit
none.
too late. The realistic options are already gone. They need a rebuild in the midfield. If you saw their preseason games against Leeds, their midfield was getting outclassed by Leeds United. I mean, you can't enter. To be honest, what I thought at the beginning of the transfer window, they needed wing backs, because you can't keep playing Ahmad in that wing back role and Dorgo on the other side. They are clearly not up for it. I mean, Ahmad is a good forward, but he can't do the defensive part of the job,
Yeah,
right?
instead of signing like one of those two times, they could have used Ahmad in that role.
Yeah, exactly. Ahmad in that number 10 role. And you need wing backs, you need midfielder. Casemiro has to go. How is Casemiro still in the club?
How is Maguire still in the club? Explain
He
me
was one of
that.
their best defenders last season.
That's actually
So
true. He was
That's
one
the
of
Best
problem.
attackers as
वही
well.
तो problem है.
He was one of the best attackers and the defenders.
attackers and
that is
defenders.
true.
That's true. I mean, that's
That
how
cross.
funny their situation is. They needed new defenders, they needed new midfielders and a striker, and they've got them two number 10s. When Ahmad and Bruno could have played in that role, they
Exactly.
already had players for that role.
भाई जैक्सन खरीद लो भाई. मैं तो वही बोल रहा हूँ.
let's
जैक्सन ले
let's
लो.
let's put our bets to see how many months does Amorim survive. I say by December he's gone.
January.
Ooh, I was going to say December as well.
January or February. Kini, what's your take?
By the end of the season, I think.
अरे
You
बाप
think
रे.
Probably.
they'll give him the entire season?
The most
I
optimistic take
think
so far.
I think they should give him a season at least.
But that's the point कि कुछ फायदा नहीं है. You don't give him the players, you don't give him what he wants. You season देख के क्या ही फायदा?
भाई
Appu, what about
मैं
you?
रोचक देने को तैयार हूँ.
I wanted to say December as well, but since you said December, I'll go November international break just to be
Ooh.
more.
Oh my
You know.
god. In November. That's not far away. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, very laughable situation.
So
And
is this another going bald bet or is it another money?
there's
Nah,
no
nah.
bet involved here. Okay?
There's no
You're
bet
just
involved
making
in this one.
predictions.
अच्छा, no bet involved भाई. Google पहले another round of another episode and Google पहले backing out भाई. Out of the bet भाई.
ठीक
Crazy.
है, मत कर gaslight, फायदा नहीं है. Moving
बाल
on,
काट ले भाई.
talking about predictions, the women's Euro final is tomorrow. Now, if you haven't checked out, there is a reel on our Instagram page talking about the semi-finals and the incredible final that we are going to have between England and Spain. So let's just give our predictions here in the video. So again, England, former Euro champions, defending Euro champions, defending champions.
क्या बोल रहा है भाई?
How do you say
Defending
it?
European champions.
Defending
Defending
European
European.
champions, and Spain, of course, are
Defending
defending world
champions
champions.
Champions defending Euro.
भाई यार record कर रहे थे. चुप हो यार.
Anti-Brexit agenda.
England, the defending European champions, and Spain, the defending world champions, facing off for the Euro 2025 final. What do you think? I think it's going to be a tasty clash. I mean, England have somehow managed to scrape their way through to the finals. As Appu said, a proper Madrid-like run to the final. But what do you make of it? Who do you think is going to win it? Let's start with Riku.
Definitely Spain. I think this is going to be super biased, but they are the favorites. I think they are on a 10-match winning streak probably. They've dominated every game. I like highlights gang, but I've watched the highlights. I was watching the highlights after Appu posted the reel, and their midfield has been clicking. I don't see any issue with their defense or attack as well. Maybe defense slightly. They're probably sometimes they can be shaky, but definitely Spain is the favorite. But
Germany
given that,
did give them a run for their money.
why that's what I was going to say. So when they've been a bit shaky, but the attacking and the attackers and the midfield is clearly they are at least a level above England, I feel. So yeah.
Appu, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to have to say Spain as well because they are the favorites. And before the Germany game, Spain actually, I think, conceded only 3 shots on target in the entire tournament before they came up against Germany, which is quite the record. England have been very unconvincing. They've scraped by in both the quarterfinals and the semifinals against, you'd say, teams which don't have as much quality. Spain don't give you that second chance. If Spain just punish you, if you let them go away with it, they will run away with it. So I think it's going to be Spain.
But what are your score predictions? Let's get your score predictions also. Riku,
Ooh,
your
that's
score predictions?
right.
2-1 Spain.
Appu?
Yeah, I think let's go 2-0 Spain.
Kini, quickly your predictions for the Euro 2025 Women's
3-0
Euro
Spain.
final.
Mbappe 5-0.
3-0 Spain.
3-0 Spain. And I think it's going to be 3-1 Spain. So all four on the panel rooting for Spain, because my justification would be, of course, England have not looked convincing at all.
Exactly.
I want them to win for Lauren James, but I don't think
She
that's
might
going.
not play. Like she's not.
Injured.
She's a doubt for the final. She's injured.
Yeah,
She is a doubt for the final.
but still, she is part of the England team, right? I want them to win,
Yeah.
but I think it's
Sorry,
going to
man.
be
Sorry.
Spain.
Sorry.
Uh, I mean, it's battle of who's the better James, but I think Reese is winning at this point. But let's see. All four on the panel rooting for Spain. Let us know your predictions in the comments below. And thanks for joining us for our weekly football roundup. And hopefully, we'll connect again next week and do another laugh session on Manchester United after they failed to get Ollie Watkins as well.
20 रुपए में कांदा.
So, thank you guys. That's good night from us. Thanks for joining. Please subscribe to the
Bye.
channel, hit that like button, and share this video if you like it. And do follow us on Instagram. We upload reels almost every day. And yeah, thanks for joining.
Let me see it.